So let's start today with a little bit of a question. When you walk into a room, whether it's a meeting, an event, or even a casual coffee catch up, what do you think the first thing people notice about you? And here's the follow up to that question. Is that impression actually aligned with how you want it to be? Welcome to the Style and Strategy Podcast, where personal brand meets leadership and style. I'm Sonia, a personal brand and style coach who's been exactly where you are, juggling career and business success, personal growth, and finding a style that truly fits. After decades in corporate leadership, I've learned that showing up isn't just about what you do. It's about how you align who you are and how the world sees you. This season, I'm bringing you practical strategies, bold insights, and honest conversations to help you amplify your presence, unlock your next level, and lead with clarity and confidence. Let's dive in. If you are looking to elevate your brand and your style in 2025, I have something super special for you. I am kicking off a 5-day free workshop focused on owning the room in style the first week of February. You do not want to miss out on this 5-day workshop with me. I am going to be covering off on everything from owning that room, style, brand, simplifying everything and getting to a point where you can revise and refine over time. So if this is on your vision board for 2025, then register below. The details are in the show notes, and I can't wait to see you there. At the same time that week, we are also opening the doors to the Activate Blueprint. I have not opened the doors to this group program since August of last year. So if you have been waiting to join the only personal brand and style program that is out there, then get your name on the wait list so that way you can ensure that you are notified as soon as the doors open, as well as the early bird bonuses that are available to you. I can't wait to see you at the workshop or on the other side in the program. Welcome back to the Style and Strategy Podcast. Today, I'm going to dive into a topic that I know so many of you care about, hence why you're listening, and you often feel stuck with. And that's around how your personal brand and your style actually plays into your leadership. One of my favorite topics as well. So before you take a step back and think, oh, hang on a second, are we talking about dressing to impress? I'm going to say hold the horses right there, because this is not what it is about at all. It isn't about fashion trends. Although I love a trend, this is not about that. And it's certainly not about keeping up appearances either. Really, today is about using your personal brand and style as tools to really amplify your confidence and your presence and your impact in your way as a leader. So today I'm going to cover off on 3 key things. One, how is leadership actually evolving as we move, beyond 2025? And what does that actually mean for you as you show up? Number 2 is around the psychology behind first impressions and why your presence actually matters in this day and age. And number 3, really simple, but what I believe powerful changes that you can actually make to align your style with your leadership goals without having to overhaul your entire wardrobe. So by the end of this session, you're going to have one clear action step and really start refining your personal brand so it truly supports the leader you are becoming. Okay, so let me take a step back here and set the stage. I've been doing a little bit of research kind of over the break and so forth, and really trying to understand, well, where is leadership going now in this future kind of environment? If we think about what our workplaces of today look like compared to what they did maybe when I first started work many, many years ago. So leadership is changing and there is still out there, but gone are the days of really strong, rigid hierarchies or what I would describe cookie cutter executive templates. So I know some of you might be listening in thinking, oh no, they are still here and they are thick and fast. What I am really saying is there is an evolution happening and it's happening across the board. And what we are saying is the world that we are actually stepping into demands leaders who are much more authentic, adaptable, and deeply human. That is what the people of today are actually asking for in their leaders. So I think we will start to see a broader shift towards that. So I guess to use more technical terms around these leadership styles, the types that are really emerging that are standing out, what it also described as human-centered leadership. So all about connection, building trust, fostering inclusivity, creating spaces where people feel seen and valued. There's also adaptive leadership. So the world's moving really fast, right? We've got AI coming at us a million miles an hour. The rate of change within businesses to evolve and adapt to what is happening in the marketplace. Leaders really need to navigate hybrid work, the AI, the constant change, all while continuing to stay really grounded. And then also what I would describe as is collaborative leadership. So the days of that top down authoritative management styles are being replaced by, greater networking, more collaborative based teams and leaders who thrive here, who actually know how to build bridges and not create silos. And, trust me, I've been there from experience. I've worked in all different types of organizations and I know the ones that have really been very successful and fostered that sense of growth and innovation was really driven by that collaborative leadership edge. So, why am I talking about this? Because here's why this matters for your personal brand. Each of these leadership styles actually require you to show up in a way that's really aligned with your goals. So think about a human centered leader for an example. So when I think about what does that presence actually feels like, it's approachable, it's authentic. Perhaps an adaptive leader, it's more versatility and it's more ease in their particular style. And collaborative leaders, well, they need to be able to connect with a range of individuals and diversity and flexibility and culturally. So, need to be kind of sensitivity around their brand is key. So I want you to just take a moment to think about A, have you ever considered your personal brand and style in that manner? And two, does how you actually show up, how you speak, how you dress, how you carry yourself actually marry up to the kind of leader that you aspire to be? And that might give you some food for thought to think through in a bit more depth. Now, number two was another key area that I know many of you are always really interested in, and that's around the psychology behind first impressions. So, when we think about first impressions, I know we wish that people would just take time to get to know us before they make a first impression. And in this day and age, you kind of thought, well, no one cares about that anymore, right? No one forms opinions of you before, in those first few seconds of meeting you. But subconsciously, everyone does. And it's just what it is. And research after research paper has continued to reinforce this message that it takes about 7 seconds for someone to form this impression of you. And here's the real punch, right? Is that those first impressions are really based on your visual cues. So no matter how many times people say to me, but people don't care about what you wear anymore, but that first visual cue still causes that disconnect or connect, right? It's the style, the grooming, the posture, and even your energy. And trust me, I am no way an old school proponent of some of the ways of the old school image consulting used to be. However, it is still a critical component that needs to be thought through. And it is there as a tool for you to be able to use. So this isn't about looking perfect. It is really about intentionality. So when your appearance actually aligns with your goals, it does something powerful. It helps create and build trust. So when people see you and immediately get a sense of who you are and what you're about. So if you think about it this way, if you're a leader who's approachable, you're bold, you're innovative, but your wardrobe feels a little bit outdated, disconnected, there might be this initial mismatch that, yes, over time will dissipate, but people might struggle to reconcile that this amazing leader you are, but yet you're projecting something slightly differently. So there's a bit of a gap there, which I see as an opportunity for you to be able to expand your presence, your expertise even further. So I remember working with a particular client who had stepped into an executive leadership position. And she told me that she knew that her work actually spoke for itself. But she kept saying that she still felt overlooked when in meetings. And, she really had to push hard to get her opinion heard. So restyling her, making her feel a lot more confident in what she was wearing that represented who she was and the values that she brought to the table really helped to take her out of that invisibility and actually enable her to feel much more confident to therefore let her voice be heard as well. So, number three in today's podcast is all about small but powerful style changes that can actually elevate your presence. So, let's get into a little bit of solution mode. So, one of the biggest questions I get asked as well is, do I have to go out and buy a whole new wardrobe in order to marry up to this new personal brand that I've put out? And in fact, it's not necessarily this whole new wardrobe that needs to be in there. And I know we've all grown up with these movies where it's all about this massive one-off transformation. But for me, this is a time considered approach, right? Because I want to make sure that you're getting embedded implementation and it sticks, and then you know how to refine and curate as time goes on. So, by starting with some small intentional shifts, that can often have the biggest impact for you. So, here are a couple of ideas to get the juices flowing upstairs around how you can actually try to make some changes and align here. So, number one, let's really start with fit. Nothing says intentional as much as clothes that fit you properly, right? So whether it's tailoring to, maybe they're too long, maybe they're too loose, maybe they're too small, who knows, right? Any of those aspects, but fit is absolutely king when it comes to ensuring that your style is intentional. Number two is making sure that you've got these versatile key pieces across your wardrobe that you can mix and match. So you can stop facing really some of the decision overwhelm that can happen if you don't have those pieces that actually tie everything together. So, in some cases that might be a blazer. Some cases it might be a really good basic tee that works for you. But those building blocks there, are really the staples and the foundation of your wardrobe. Number three is about a signature touch. So, Here I talk about it might be a bold necklace, it might be a pop of color, it might even be your favorite lipstick shade. For me, it majority of times the pant is my signature look. And the pant is my signature look. Why? Because it really drives comfort for me. I feel my most comfortable, my most me when I'm in a pair of pants. So whether they are tailored pants, whether they are casual, whether they're flow, the pant is really part of who I am. So don't shy away from it. It's an opportunity to really lean into something that you feel very comfortable around. And then number 4 is about refinements to what I'm going to describe as presence. And don't think about this as the old school way of thinking about presence. Style isn't just about your clothing. It's about your body language. It's about what your demeanor comes across as when you're thinking about those leadership attributes. It can all make a difference. So here's a quick exercise for you. Maybe take one outfit that you wear and that you enjoy wearing, and then really look at it and say, well, does this align to who I want to show up as? And that leader, are you fitting into one of those top leadership categories that we are in need of in the future? If not, what's one small tweak you can make to shift and get it closer to where you want to go? So, the key takeaway here is your personal brand isn't just about how you show up, it plays a massive role in that. But it's also about how people experience you. And so, when the two align, you know that your leadership, your goals, how you start showing up in that space starts to become seen as much more confident. There's a greater clarity in everything you've got to say in that particular environment. So take the opportunity today to really reflect on your style and ask yourself, which one are you leaning into? More human centered? Perhaps it's more collaborative, or is it adaptive leadership style? Then take a look at your wardrobe and have a think about, does it really align with how you want to be seen? Pick one outfit, one piece, and one area to really start refining today. So, leadership really isn't about fitting into a mold anymore. That's not what we need. It's about stepping into your authenticity and leading in a way that feels true to you and engaging people around you. Your personal brand and your style are actually tools for you to do that. And I'm really here to help you align those with your goals. I hope you've really enjoyed today's episode and starting to really think through around some changes you can make. If something really resonated with you, send me a DM, drop me a note. I'd love to hear from you.